Bom dia. Eu quero café e
Com leite?
não leite.
Não leite.
Com pão de queijo.
Ok. Quer sentar? Pode sentar.
Não, tá tudo
Pra viagem?
para a viagem.
Ok. Pão de queijo grande?
Grande, sim. I got my coffee and I got my breakfast, so let's get the day started. Right now I'm standing in front of the Museum of Art. And I'm going to meet up with my guide, Gaby, and so she's going to be giving us a tour and talking about the African culture that's present here in Brazil as well as its impact.
Here's a baobab. Have you heard about baobab before?
No, I've never heard of baobab.
Baobab is an African tree. It's very common in Madagascar, the island. But for them, some societies in Africa is considering the tree of the knowledge. Why? Because in some societies in Africa, the knowledge is not writing on books. It's just by your voice. You use your voice to transmit the knowledge to the next generation.
Yes.
And it's like, so the old people, they sit under the trees and they share the knowledge with everybody that sits around the tree. So for me, it's important to start right here because it's for today, in 2 hours and a half, probably, I will share my knowledge using my own voice and for you to understand, you know? So that's why it's important, the baobab tree is important for me to tell you. 4 main one. The first one was Pau Brasil. Have you heard about Pau Brasil before? No. It's a tree. And when you cut this tree, you had a type of red wood inside.
Yeah.
And when Portuguese realized that red wood, that they could cut the tree and transform the wood in a powder and use the powder to dye clothes. And at that time, it's like if you wear red clothes, purple, pink, it means that you're very rich. Only royalty and church wear the type of color.
Yeah.
Okay. But of course, Portuguese, they like, my hands are too soft to have this type of work, hard work. So I don't want to do this type of job. But I know some people that know the area and can cut the tree for me. And it was the indigenous people. So indigenous, it was the first slaves that we had in Brazil. Second time, of course, when you start to cut the trees and you don't replant, you don't have the trees anymore, right? So there was a point that Portuguese was like, what do I do? I don't have the woods anymore, the trees gone, but the land and the weather was perfect to plant sugar cane. And sugar, it was very precious in Europe. They can't plant sugar. The weather is the worst one. So they started to observe the colonies that they already had in Africa, and they saw that some places in Africa, they already know how to plant the sugar cane. And again, it's a hard work. I don't want to do by myself, but I know some people that can do. So this African diaspora started, and they brought literally kidnapping everybody and like, oh, you know how to do, so you go to some place to work for me. And that was the second economic cycle that we had, the sugar cane. The third one was coffee. Same concept about sugar. They already knew how to do. I don't want to do. They will work for me for free and I won't pay. They will be my slaves. And the fourth one was the gold, because they found gold in Minas Gerais. It's the state close from Rio. And again, using Africa's workforce to work for them for free. We just had the abolishment in 1888, like 20 years later.
After the US.
Exactly. So you can understand that 1500, when Portuguese they arrived, and 1888, when we had the abolishment, we had the slavery like the base of everything in Brazil. Literally, slavery was the base of the economy. So it's interesting to know and to understand that everything that you see that is old, like churches, building, and it was before 1888, for sure. People that built that places, they were black and they were captive and they were treated like slaves. The hashtag KOBRA. He's Brazilian, but he was born in São Paulo. And the government, because in 2016 we had the Olympic Games, the government asked him to paint something that is related with the Olympic flag. And he said, yeah, I can do that, but I won't paint the circles that everybody knows. I would do something different. So what he did, he painted the representing the Olympic circles, because every circle is representing one continent. So it's exactly what he did right here. So we have 5 representations, and each one is representing one continent. So this one, Africa continent. The second one is Asia continent. The next one representing Americas, like all the Americas. But of course, because he's Brazilian, he wanted to put in honor of Brazilian indigenous society. So the name of that society is Tapajós.
Tapajós.
The next one representing Europe, and the last one representing Oceania. And some people, when they came here and when I say, oh, that one is Europe, and they look at me as like, they're not European. It's like, yeah, the way that you know European people is like blonde and blue eyes, right? But what Cobra wanted is just to represent the people before of the colonization, before when European people start to colonize everybody. So it's like, oh no, that people, we was living in Europe much before Portugal started like a country, or England being a country too. And like that was the point of this panel right here.
Wow. So that's Native American.
No, this one.
That's
this
Native
is
American.
The Brazilian society that I told you, Tapajós, the
Tapajós.
indigenous people. That
That's
one,
Asian.
Asia. With the Thailand women that wear the neck, the necklace too.
Oh
have the neck taller. And this one Europe, that one that I'm telling you, that's like they're not European. And like, I think they are.
This looks like people from Kazakhstan, places like that.
And that one is representing Oceania, but from Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea.
How many countries you've been traveling?
I've been to a good amount. I've been through most of like the Middle East. I've been through a lot of Europe. The only place in Asia I've been is India, and I've been through a good portion of like
11. And they stopped to use this place in 1831. It was just 20 years that it was they were using by the purpose that they created for. And the purpose, it was to receive all the ships that came with Africans inside. So it was literally the place that the ships stopped, and all the Africans that were slaves when they arrived in Brazil, they arrived right here. So just this place, it was responsible to receive ships carrying around 1 million of Africans, just right here, okay? But the point is why they built this place. So we had a main wharf that was the main door of the city, and it was in Praça 15 Square. It's still in downtown here. But it was right there, very close. In fact, it was in front of the main house of the royal family. I don't know if you know, but in 1808, the royal family, they ran away from Portugal to Brazil. So the king, the princess, everybody that was from Portugal, they run away because they were very scared to Napoleon invade Portugal.
Yeah.
And when they realized that, it was like, we need to go.
Yeah.
We have a colony in Brazil, we move to Brazil. Portugal, it was literally empty.
Wow.
Because they came here and they brought with them around 15,000 people, all the court, okay? When they,
That was a lot of boats.
exactly, it was a lot of boats. When they arrived in Rio, so the first house that they lived, it was Paço Imperial. And the Paço Imperial, it was in front of the main wharf. When the people that they brought, they start to leave, they choose to live around of the royal family, right?
Yeah.
I am the court. I don't want to live apart. I'm rich. I have money. The problem was when they start to live around them and the wharf was right there, they like walking every day with the kids. It's like a ship just arrived, and the scene, it was not the best scene ever. It was a lot of Africans arriving most of the time naked, with a lot of disease, weak, with hungry.
Yeah.
It was not nice to see that type of thing, right? So they start to complain a lot to the government. It's like, hey, government, I'm walking here every single day with my kids. How can I explain this for them? No, you need to change this place right here to another place. I don't know what you do, but you need to do. So the government starts to thinking about, okay, rich people, they are complaining.
Yeah.
I will listen and I will do something. Because if it was poor people complaining, I won't do anything. So they realized that this area of the city, because we are literally in the back of the city, right? Nobody was living here. They start to understand that, I think that right there is a very good place to build a new wharf. So that's why they built the Valongo Wharf. And Valongo, it was the name of all this place right here. Valongo in Portuguese from Portugal, it means long valley. So it was a long valley here before. And the thing is, when they built this port, it was literally just because they need an area to support the slavery economy. Like I told you, slavery was the economy. Brazil got a lot of money because of slavery. So imagine that you had the wharf right here, the place that the ships just arrived, but right there, if you follow this street, and like 2 minutes walking, you had a market square. And a market square, it was literally to sell the Africans that just arrived here, right there.
Wow.
And also from this place right there in that part, they had a type of hospital, because some Africans, they arrived here, they were still alive, but they're very weak.
Yep.
So I need to take care of you, not because you are important for me, it's just because you are my product and I need to sell you right there in the market.
Like livestock.
Exactly. It's like I pay some money from you, but I need to sell you to get my profit, right? So I can't sell a product that was bad. I need to fix the product and then I will sell. The another place that it was built around here, it was a cemetery. But it was not the type of cemetery that we know right now with a plaque, with something. No, it was just a hole.
There's the bodies in there.
Bodies right there. It's like, imagine that the journey from Africa to Brazil, especially in Rio, it was around the 15 days. Of course, then inside of the boat was bad conditions from them. Then separate everybody, separate families. They put people speaking different language to don't create anything inside of the boat, and they take the boat and, oh no, we are free. No, they were very strategic about that, you know. So of course, some of them, they didn't support that type of journey, and they arrived here already dead. When they arrived in Rio, the name that they gave to them, it was the new black. It's not because they were kids or young, it's just because new arrivals.
Yeah.
Oh, he is a new black, okay? And the name of the cemetery that they gave, it was the New Black Cemetery.
So like Novo Negro.
Exactly. And that's it. So it's important to understand that how this place here, it was before of the freedom, before abolishment.
Yeah.
Everything that you see here, it was created to support the slavery economy.
Wow.
You know, I will give you all the tools to do to get money from slavery. Okay. One important thing about this place here is like it was covered. It was covered. Literally in the beginning of 20th century, it was the same time that I told you that they start to push away the water,
Yeah.
you know, and create this place right here. The mayor that we had, his name was Pereira Passos. And Pereira Passos, he was very passionate about Paris and Europe. So for him, he wanted to transform Rio in the new Paris. But also for him, Paris, or his project of the new Paris, it doesn't match with poor people and black people.
Yeah.
So everything that remind me is slavery, I will erase. So this place right here, it was literally covered. So you can see the lava from the street and
Yeah.
the stones that right here. And just in 2012, they found this place here.
Oh wow.
So during the revitalization process to open the place that we are walking around with the walls and everything, they start to realize like, what this stone is. So archaeologists, history teachers, they, because of the researches, they realized that this place right here, it was the Valongo Wharf.
Kind of looks like they're still excavating stuff down there.
Yeah, they are, because they are trying to remodeling the pipes, because there is some type of system to drain the water.
Yeah.
A lot of times when rains a lot, this place right here was full of water. So they are doing better now, and also remodeling a little bit this area to treat the place like with more respect.
Yeah.
You know? And also this building right here, it will be, that was the plan, I think in 2025, a museum to put everything that they found when they are excavating, digging here, because they found many things that is from these Africans that they arrived here.
I mean, there's a lot of potential. They can revitalize this one,
Yes.
that one too.
Yeah, that is supposed to be a hotel. But
Yeah.
it is a hotel.
Oh wow.
I don't know if,
Yeah,
if somebody paid to stay there.
yeah, it needs looks like it needs help.
Yes, it's like a little bit hunting.
I thought it was abandoned.
It's not. You can see there is still
Yeah.
the door right there.
Yeah.
The window.
Yeah.
People they have in Brazil in the beginning of 20th century, right there after the slavery ends, the teams, because they were supported by rich people, they didn't want that black people play.
Yeah.
It was literally a sport created and to play like leisure for white and rich people.
Yeah.
So black people was not allowed. One team, it was the pioneer to allow a black person play in that soccer team. It was Bangu.
Bangu.
Yeah, it's in a neighborhood from Rio. And when he starts to play, he was the only person that was black. Many players wanted to try to him fail or pretend that he did something to receive the red card and you leave the game. Imagine in his head, it's like, if everybody is coming from me, I need to create some type of movement
Yeah.
to escape of that situation. So that's why it's like,
Yeah.
that's it. So that a lot of people, they when start to play soccer after him, look at him and see how he did, the black people. And the movement just came from there.
Wow.
You know, you need to escape, because if you don't do that, you receive a red card, but it won't be your fault.
Yeah.
That's why we have the Brazilian style in soccer.
That's beautiful. Hip hop. That's right. This year is the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's interesting because it has like it has a global influence. That's at Favela, and similar to the U.S., it came from, like each project has their different story when it comes to hip hop. I mean, now it's transformed into something else, but back in the day, it was a way for people, to tell the stories of what was going on in their area.
It was the new black cemetery, right? The interesting thing about this place, when they it starts to dig in and getting more and more and more bones, they not only found the bones, they also found some trash. For instance, like chicken bones, fish bones, broken stuff.
Yeah.
Because for them, it was not a cemetery. It was just a place that I put the trash.
Yeah.
If they treat these Africans and the black people like products, what happens when the products break?
Throw it in the trash.
Throw it in the trash. So that's what they do. 15, 20 years after slavery ends, black people were not supposed to go and was not allowed to go to school. So it was really bad.
It was better to keep them ignorant.
Of course. That's what they think. So here is very good to understand where we came from, So you were talking about the 80% that came to Brazil. So you see the arrow.
Yeah.
So if you see thicker, you see how much people came, especially from here to Brazil. Also here to Mozambique.
Wow.
And some, the island, Caribbean islands, and the U.S. It was like,
Yeah.
But they still went there.
Even more into the Caribbean.
Yes. All Brazilian coast right here. The sugar cane, it was very good in Recife. Also Salvador. The coffee, Salvador, Rio De Janeiro, São Paulo. And the gold, Minas Gerais, right here. So you see why, and until now, majority of the people that live in this place, they are black. In our country, 56% of people are black. She's Zezé Mota. She's still alive. She's an actress / singer. She was very important for our TV entertainment market because she was black. She was able to tell them that she won't be the type of actress that just receive roles to represent maid or a cleaner or a babe sitting. No, I am an actress, so I'm able to represent everything that I want. So that was the main role that she had in her career, representing Chica da Silva. She was a black person. She was a slave, but a white guy fell in love of her, Chica da Silva, and he was very rich and very powerful. So he was able to buy the freedom for her, and he got married with her. But she was very smart, and she was the head of the relationship, you know. So because it represents the place, the roots that you show that we saw on the map, Angola, Congo, Benguela, Mojolo, all of these places that these people came from, the Africans. I know, but like the artist wanted to put like in nowadays.
Yeah.
So he just designed like that. This is a representation, of course, of a favela, right? And it's important to understand that why we have so many favelas in Rio de Janeiro. In Rio, we have around 1,000 favelas just in Rio de Janeiro. And why we have so many? Because after the slavery ends, the government, they just literally said, okay, black people, thank you for your service. You were able to live your life, enjoy it. How can I enjoy a life if I don't have money, if I don't have education, and if I don't have a house? So they start to realize that in the hills, nobody was living there. They're like, well, I can use some woods, you know, things that nobody want to use anymore, and try to build my own house and in the hill. So that's why we have the favelas here. And this is the artist, when he was painting this, it was a representation of himself when he was a kid. He grew up in a favela, and this representing him looking further, looking through the favela and try to understand and thinking about it. Am I be able to live here, move to another place? Who will gonna be when I grow up? And I'll be able to be a doctor or engineering or a lawyer, or no, or maybe I would just have a type of job that nobody wants to do, you know? Knock, knock. You must end this slavery. It's like, man, TikTok, it's not allowed anymore. Come on, think about it. You are treating people like that, but they just want money, okay? But to Brazil, it's like slavery was literally the base of everything, of the economy, that he said, I cannot end the slavery. If I end the slavery, the economy will crash. We heard that before at some point in our life. Oh, the economy will crash. Everybody will lose everything. It's like, I don't think so, but okay. So England started crashing a lot. So finally, in 1888, Brazil signed a letter saying that all the black people, they are free and they are not slaves anymore. It's like I told you, it's like, I give you the freedom, but I don't give any way to live this freedom.
Free, but not equal.
Or like, you don't have any dignity, you know, to live the life that how it's supposed to be, with enjoying the life and spending the time with your family, having a job, having money, having a house. No. You're free, but go away, you know?
Wow, 1888. It's interesting what this says. So this is what you're talking about earlier. So where they created this idea of racial democracy. And so they're basically saying, you know, look at us, we're better than the U.S. and South Africa. But it says, however, racism is a strong mark of Brazilian society. It says racial democracy is a myth, and that racism is present in language, in socioeconomic inequality, in the police approach, in the access to housing, education, and the best job positions. Wow.
It's like I told you. Like if you have a black and a white person going to the same opportunity to have a job, they will choose the white person. You know, and like racial democracy, really? I don't think so. You know, it's not true. And a lot of people think that, especially the white people, is like, oh, no, but Brazil it was so much better than U.S. You know, like in U.S. they had the segregation. Just like, yeah, we didn't have the segregation, but we had segregation. You know, we are not treated the same way. Right now in Rio de Janeiro, because if we have samba, and if everybody thinking about Brazil, most of the things that they think is samba is because of this place. It's like we used to say that this place is the birthplace of samba. The samba was born here in Rio de Janeiro. Samba is a mix of influence from Africa, influence from Portugal, influence from Brazil. They mix everything and the samba was born. The way that we play samba in Rio is different than the way that they play samba in Salvador, in Bahia, for instance. But it's still samba. But you must understand that now everybody knows samba, everybody likes samba. Even the government used samba to promote Brazil. But before, samba was not allowed. Samba, in fact, was considered crime.
Wow.
You could go to the jail just you were playing samba or carrying an instrument to playing somewhere. So it's not only samba, but everything that was considering black culture, like capoeira, you see there.
Yeah.
So the African religion with the lady with the green dress right there also, and the samba. So if it was black, it was bad. If it was black, it was crime. If it was white, it was good. You know, that's what they thought. But how samba became so popular and how now everybody loves samba is literally because of that woman right there, Tia Ciata, that woman in the wall. So Tia Ciata, she was born in Bahia, but she moved to Rio around 14 years old. She started to build her life here. She was not a slave, she was a free woman, okay? And she had a big family, like she had 14 kids, and I don't want to have one. And of course, when you have a big family, you need to do a lot of stuff to get money and raise the kids, right? So she sold food on the street. She used to help people with some herbs and the knowledge that she had. And she was very famous because she supported the people that also was moving from Bahia to Rio de Janeiro to try to restart the life and have a new life here in Rio. That's why the nickname that they gave to her, it was Tia, auntie, right? But one day we had a president, and the name of the president was Venceslau Braz. This president was Brazilian, and he had a type of disease in his leg. No doctor were able to heal his leg, but his driver, the driver of the president, he was black. He said, "Hey, president, I know somebody that can help you, and your leg will be good." Who? Tia Ciata. She is very good with the herbs. She knows everything. You'll be healed. I'm like, okay, bring her. So she went there. She did some things with the herbs, put in his leg, and she said, in 3 days, you'll be good. He didn't believe at the first moment, but in 3 days, he was good. So he just was so glad that he wanted to say thanks to Ciata. And he wanted to give her some money. And she said, your money is not welcome here, but you can do something for me that I need. Like, okay, I'm the president, I can do, well, what do you need? My husband need a job. My husband's not working right now. Okay, what type of job do you think that your husband would be good to do? I don't know, maybe something inside of the police station? She was not dumb, she was very smart. Because inside of her house happened everything that was considered crime. Samba parties, candomblé, African religion, and also capoeira. So, if her husband was working inside of the police station, nothing bad will happen with people that was inside of her house. So that's why her house became a safe spot, a place that people could go there and be themselves. I am a singer, a samba singer. I can sing inside the Seatta's house. I am a samba player. I can play inside the Seatta's house. I am a samba writer. I can write samba inside the Seatta's house. So her house was so popular between the samba singers and capoeiras and candomblé people that it was a kind of base and foundation. And because of that, the first samba that was wrote, it was inside of her house and wrote and played on the radio. Because if somebody was not allowed to be played on the radio, if it was considering a crime, when it started to play on the radio, the white people started, I like this. And the government's like, if white people like, it's not crime anymore. I cannot arrest a white person, it won't be good for my reputation. So that's why samba became so popular. And now when you're thinking about Rio, you're thinking about samba, you're thinking about carnival. But it was just because of her. And the Pedra do Sal, it was a type of meeting point for the samba singers like Heitor dos Prazeres, like João da Baiana, like Pixinguinha. All of them, they were samba singers in the beginning of 20th century.
Wow.
And it's very interesting because if before samba was not allowed to play on the street, now it is, and everybody loves. So because of that, every Monday we have a samba party, right?
Yeah.
And it's free. You don't need to pay anything. You just come here and enjoy. In fact, I was here on Monday, last Monday. I can show you how different is this place with samba and empty. Okay, so you see everything right now, right?
Yeah, all empty.
I will see how it is.
Whoa, look at that. This is like, you can't even move around. Oh, man.
And the samba is happening right here. And the table, they play.
That's wild.
November 20th. But nowadays, every November 20th, we celebrate the Black Conscience Day in Brazil and in honor to him. And it's a time for us to talk more about how difficult it is to be a black person in Brazil.
Wow.
Her statue, she was Mercedes Batista. And she was the first black woman to be a classic ballerina in the municipal theater. Municipal theater is the main theater that we have in Rio de Janeiro. It's located in Cinelândia and square here in downtown. And it was in the 40s when she was able to join the group of the classic ballet right there. But municipal theater is like almost the friend that we have that he or she said, I'm not racist. I have a black friend. They're like, that is the most racist thing to say. So municipal theater is literally the same. People start to ask about, oh, you don't have a black ballerina? No, I do. Mercedes Batista is part of my group. But when you realize and go further, Mercedes always stay like in the background of the presentation, or they never gave to her the main roles.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's there, but she was not part of. She was literally a part of everything. So she was tired about that. And one time, one dancer from US, Catherine Duhan, she came from New York to Brazil. And they met each other. And Catherine invited Mercedes to go to US and spend some time there to learn more about different type of dances, right? So when she was learning that, she was more about different movements, and she starts to think that why not having a type of choreography that use Africa like the influence. like the movements that the African religion they do when they are celebrating the orishas or capoeira, this type of movement. So she started to put everything together and created the Afro dance. That's why her representation, she's now wearing the ballet skirt or the shoes, the ballet shoes. She's wearing the same type of clothes that she used to wear in her presentations, you know. And of course that her statue is right here because we are in the Little Africa. It's a type of celebration for her. And to end this tour and this moment that we had here today, I just want to let you know that everything that I've been doing, not only me, but every people that work with the Little Africa Tour, that works with me, my co-host, we are literally trying to be like the baobab tree that you saw in the beginning.
Yes.
We are trying to share the knowledge. We're trying to use our voice to make everybody that wants and be open to understand what Brazil is and what make our society. Yes, we are so diverse, but we have a lot of problems inside of us that we need to treat. So every time I think that when you do this type of tour, not only in Brazil, but around the world, you are trying to put a little piece of this big puzzle, and the big puzzle is African diaspora. They took this route for us, but every time that you do something like that, you put it back, you know, and try to understand more who we are in this world. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I love this tour. I mean, I learned so much, and
I'm really glad that you did.
Thank you for setting me under the baobab tree.
Oh, nice.
And passing the knowledge, and I'll do my best to pass
Please
what I was able to retain.
Please do it. It's like my job is do this, share what I know and what I've been studying since 2015, you know.
Yeah.
And every time that I have 1, 2 big groups or small groups, it's like when I finish, like I did my part. You know, I share what I know. I didn't return to myself.
I have a little travel channel on YouTube. So people who are going to see this, how can they reach out to you, like if they want to book a tour? Like, what's the best way from the contact?
It's the best way is to gather Airbnb.
Okay.
So you can put the link in the description of the video if you want.
Okay, awesome.
And that's it. So
awesome.
there you find me. If I can't lead the tour, definitely the co-hosts will do, and they are so good like me.
Okay.
So don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.